There we go.
All right. Hello, everyone. As we start to get open here, good midday to most of you. Depends this time of year, whether we're in morning or afternoon, or if you're visiting us from Europe, then it's deep into the evening for you, and thank you. My name is Nicole Mead. I'm with the Simpleview marketing team, and I'm your moderator today. So I'll be watching out for technical questions, that sort of thing. We are recording this webinar. Very common questions. It's being recorded and will be available on your All Access site. And we'll also have it available through the portal and some other places for you. We have Ty Downing with us from SkyNAV. I'm very excited to hear about what you're doing and how it could help all of our clients here today. So I'm going to pass it over to you, and I will just be here to help out and use the Q&A box if you have any questions, and we'll be watching for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole, very much. We really appreciate being able to sponsor with Simpleview, and thanks for getting this all prepared. And as Nicole mentioned, I'm one of the co-founders of SkyNAV. It's an immersive marketing product and platform. So we're going to touch on a couple of things, and in relation to that, let me share my screen so we can get underway. Okay. So the agenda, just so we all kind of prepare mentally in our minds, I like to just kind of lay out the brief agenda we have for this webinar that we're sponsoring with Simpleview. Just a 5-minute overview of SkyNAV, and we're going to touch on the title of this webinar too. And then we're going to have about 15 minutes of actual live demonstrations to show you how powerful this mixed reality platform is. And then, of course, we want to open up to some question and answers. So let's get underway with this whole idea of virtual site visits and leisure experiences, the new escapism for 2021. And of course, we feel that this is really beyond 2021, but we might wonder, what is escapism? So as we see here, it's the avoidance of reality by absorption of the mind, entertainment, being entertained in an imaginative type situation. And as we see how technology continues to progress, this type of experience really is going to be more accepting and really demanded from people, especially making decisions on whether they're going to travel to a city. We know when travel, images are already king, but imagine wrapping around them the idea of imagining themselves so close to being real that they want to book now or bring an event there. So that's what we want to talk about, is how new technologies can do that. And we're highlighting, of course, SkyNAV. And just here, as you see here, the reason why we feel this is validated, and perhaps you've done your own reporting and research too, but the idea of this escapism, or what we even kind of put into the same bucket as augmented reality or mixed reality, a lot of people, as we see, 61% of shoppers are expecting brands to offer some kind of interactive experience. And we know this is true because millennials, they're all getting used to technologies, and Gen Z is on the horizon, and they're well into immersive technologies. So again, mixed reality, putting these elements into a marketing platform is going to be critical. The appetite is there. $1.6 billion will be spent by 2025 to integrate this type of virtual shopping, e-commerce, augmented type experiences. And then, as we see there, 8 out of 10 expect to use AR, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So we have to prepare for it. It's coming that way, and we see a lot of technologies. In fact, Tim Cook with Apple, that's why he made this comment many years ago. Immersive technology is as vital to society as 3 meals a day. And we realize that all these big tech companies, whether it's Apple, Google, or Facebook, they are heavily investing in immersive technology. So that's why we are excited to continue to advance our product. So what is SkyNAV? Well, it's a premium mixed reality tour platform, and it really highlights a city. And as we're going to see here through this, just a few slides and then the demo course, We're going to see how it brings to life that escapism that almost makes you imagine that you were there, and really tantalizing the emotion to that potential traveler, which again, really is, it comes down to buyers and shopping. They want an emotional reaction. And that's what mixed reality does. One of the largest differences in our platform, which kind of helps create this whole escapism or this virtual feel, is the fact that we go from the sky to the ground. And that really is something that we're very well known for, but also making sure the quality is there. And that adds to the realism, that adds to the imagination that they're actually there in that city or that destination. And then spatially located information beacons, which all of our tour and our platform come with, for example, if cities buy into a SkyNAV platform, they will have unlimited information beacons to call out points of interest, to call out restaurants. Maybe it's points on a street that were very of interest to the marketing team. And we're going to demonstrate how those work too. But we want to fill each scene with some kind of robust experience to have that escapism feel, that they're actually there and ready to convert. And the fact that SkyNAV, our platform, we start at the sky level and then go down, it really tells the whole story. And this really is the most impactful part of the platform, is the fact that we can see visually, we can see the beautiful areas of your city. And maybe you'll say, well, some of our parts of our city aren't that pretty, but we can adjust. We can make sure that the parts that look the best are highlighted the best. But when you start from the sky, go down to the ground, it definitely tells this whole story of how things are adjacent to event centers, maybe a convention center, how far hotels are visually, so much more better than a Google map. And from the sky, you also can see, as you see there noted, geo-targeted information where we can tell whether it's feet, yards, or miles away from the next point of interest from the sky, or how far away the hotels are from the convention center or the event center. But you see everywhere. That's the beauty of directional imagery. And then from the ground, it's the same, obviously the same result. We put a lot of effort into our post-production, and we feel that really, again, adds to that realism. And part of people, why they buy and shop and convert, is because of the power of seeing high quality imagery. And they want that. And that really just, again, brings to the attention that the emotional buying, whether that's booking a trip, reserving a table, or bringing a concert to your city or an event. The other part of our platform is the fact that your marketing team can actually log in to the back end and make adjustments. So if you have content that's not evergreen, you can actually replace that. A video is out of date, swap it out. Or maybe you want to add more videos. Maybe you want to add a lot of information beacons that pop up, images, a gallery. Again, you have unlimited information beacons to really blossom and bring to life certain areas of your town, but you control all that. Also, navigation, we do have menus on the left side, works very similar to a website, but if somebody wanted to be handheld and walk through, or they can take a self-guided tour as well. If they want to see a hot map of different features of the city, or if it's a convention center, that is also included and embedded. We can take the image or the tours that maybe it's a specific hotel partner, or maybe it's a stadium, and put that on the partner pages of your CVB website to give them attention so they can go directly to that tour. So it's very shareable. We can syndicate to Google. We are a trusted Street View agency as well. So if that's an option to give your Google account a little more life, if they start plugging around there too. Analytics are very critical. This product was really born from a marketing agency, so it's not a shiny new object. We feel that if we don't measure everything, and I'm sure most of you listening to this webinar are marketers, analytics is key. So that's why we're able to track and see the results of our tours. For example, Kay Galloway, our partner in Daytona Beach, one critical component, you could say, of tracking SkyNAV for her was time on site. And as you see there, visitors there average around 4 to 20 minutes time on the their SkyNAV tour. It's pretty deep. So, you can compare that with your existing CVB website, and that's pretty good. If you can actually go well beyond your normal website, it shows that this platform is highly immersive, and people are brought into there. They're not just seeing, it's the doorstep of a hotel. They want to back up, they want to visualize the whole city. And that's why our tours are so effective. And this final thought from Robert Eubank, Sales and Marketing Director in Hilton, says, we are landing on this new tool to be able to do virtual site visits with clients who are unable to travel currently and beyond. So how many of you are now taking iPads or your phone and just doing a site visit, maybe not you, but maybe it's your partners, to show hotels? So we see that this is kind of even a new norm post-COVID, that a platform can be now used to bring people inside of these spaces, and they can take their own self-guided tour. And we again appreciate our partnership with Simpleview, and we've been with them a couple of years now with presenting it or sponsoring at their Simpleview Summit. And of course, we've been around. We're not new. We've been producing virtual experiences for a lot of cities and different venues and organizations. So, well, that's our deck. Let's now go to some live demos, and then after that is when we can open it up for question and answer. So let me stop here. And let's go here. Okay, so we're going to take you to Daytona Beach. Wouldn't it be nice to be in Daytona right now? So Daytona Beach, Florida has miles of coastline, but they also have a lot of interesting things inside. And that's, again, the power of SkyNAV is it enables, in the click of a mouse or the touch of a finger, since this is not an application, just so you know, this is web-based, but it allows people to fly a variety of different spaces pretty quickly. Like if they wanted to go to Ormond Beach, it's 4.6 miles away. And also venues that maybe you don't see from the sky. For example, the band shell. This gives you an idea real quick. I'll pan around to give you an idea of their beaches were very important to capture. And you can't really capture this on the ground, but you can take it from the sky to the ground to really give you that immersive feel. But this gives you an example of kind of focusing in on a little event venue called the band shell. So let's go right down there. Little reggae music. You can add ambient sounds as well to any of your scenes. So if it's music, if it's a voiceover, but also your digital assets. Again, this is part of that escapism. We want to bring in your existing assets that you spent thousands of dollars on and place them in the exact spot that they are located in that city. So there you get an idea of how video embeds work. But if, for example, Daytona Beach wanted to just dot this with a lot of information beacons, call out a restaurant, a gift shop, you can also upsell partners to do that, and just load this with as many information beacons as you'd like. So let's go back to the sky, and let me take you over to downtown Daytona Beach. Again, these are areas that the CVB even told us that rarely get seen. So people don't know about the beauty of the downtown Daytona Beach, but believe it or not, this is their downtown. It's very small, but look how beautiful it is. Look how close it is to the stadium. And they wanted to show off that stadium because there's a multi-million-dollar new turf put in. But again, it gives you spatially located information. Like, for example, Daytona International Speedway is 3.7 miles. Let's go there. And in this example, you can go down inside of the track as we did. I don't know if many of you have a NASCAR team or racetrack in your city, but If you wanted to highlight areas that people could go to after the race, for example, little did we know Best Buy would get some free advertisement there, but they have this center called One Daytona Center, where they have shops, they have hotels, they have restaurants, all these things, again, you can add to your tour to bring those areas to life. And of course you can move through the shopping center or move through different areas to really highlight. And along the way, like Copperline Coffee there, you see this other place, those can be information beacons with call to actions. These point of interest, it could be to reserve a table at a restaurant. It could be to reserve a ticket for a movie theater when they fully open up. But that's Daytona Beach. I wanted to show also a couple highlights of Columbia, South Carolina. And this is a different scene, different type scenic visual, but you can see here they have more landscape, you could say, as far as buildings. Let's go down inside of one of their streets. And this gives you a good idea of how information beacons can be added to bring life to this area where maybe they weren't. Even if you wanted to move down, we could add more ground experiences to capture even more potential partners. So if you wanted to add it like a gallery of different partners, that's definitely an option. Again, you have unlimited galleries, unlimited images, and all these can be call to actions to link through to the bar, the restaurant. It's not just moving through space. We wanted to make sure the platform converts, and that's what SkyNAV does. It takes you from the sky to the ground so that you can easily move through space and convert. And let's take you, this is kind of cool. I know a lot of you cities have sporting complexes. So whether it's baseball, soccer fields, things of that nature. But here's an example of, this is I think a AAA professional team. But if you wanted to call out different areas from the sky, just to see the visual beauty of this stadium, or if you want to go right down to the baseball diamond, and let's say you wanted a call to action to show the seating chart. Well, they used a video to do that. I think you get the idea, right? Or if you wanted to showcase different packages of suites, this doesn't have to be a video. It could be an information beacon with maybe it's a download to, you see the read more link. It could be a converting website to buy tickets. It could be a PDF of how you can hold an event there. And then lastly, in Columbia, for partner hotels, this is very important, is, again, we don't want to just offer something for the partner hotel. We want to offer the city. And in this case, we get a lay of the land of how beautiful Columbia is, but intertwined into the tour and the immersive experience are all the area hotels. For example, here is the Hyatt Place. You might notice once you land on this, you have a co-branded logo. But as you fly down here, you do get to the doorstep of the hotel, and then it works very similar. You just continue progressing through the hotel property. And again, all city tours as well, they have hot maps like this. That way people are not lost. If they so choose, they want to just use this navigation, they can do that. Okay, so that's partner hotels. Again, these are embedded inside of the main master, you could say, tour for the city. So now it's getting a little more exciting. Let's talk about event centers. So we got just a couple more minutes here in convention centers. So this here is the Ocean Center in Florida. And as you notice here, this is more of an event-centric convention center. And we know that what's critical to get travel back is we need to bring events and conventions to our cities so that they can go to the hotels, they can frequent the restaurants. And we sense that it's starting to come back. But as you see here, you can see the beauty of how these event centers look in close proximity to the ocean. But now as you want to dive into the event center, you can go right into these convention centers and take a walkthrough. So going into the lobby, planners can visualize, the space. If you wanted to add more information beacons here to show how wide these aisles are, or to show the upstairs. We won't take you through the whole convention center because it's pretty large. But again, you can see how you can just continue to navigate, then know where the restrooms, the elevators are, and so forth. Now, what's really critical in combining the visual virtual experience there is this hot map for convention centers. So if somebody wanted to just jump right to these locations, for example, in 103C, meeting room 1, what does a typical layout look like? So you get an idea here of how everything looks. And you can also add information beacons here. So this is 32,000 square feet. They have 32 breakout rooms. Now this might be large portions, doesn't look like 32,000 square feet, but again, you get the idea. This could be a read more link to a PDF download. But if you wanted to add more information into any of the banquet rooms or breakout rooms or ballrooms, again, you have unlimited information beacons to bring into these experiences to convert. One thing I wanted to show you too is each tour does have a 3D hot map. So if people want to see kind of visualize where the interstates are in comparison to some of the aerials are, that definitely comes included, as well as a contact form. It's a third party, but again, that's part of the conversions. Okay, so let's go back to the arena. Okay, so the last couple things I wanted to share with you is how powerful the platform can be with kind of special effects things. So you can see the catwalks up here. You can see how big this arena is, but what does it look like with an event in it? Sometimes planners want to see that. They want to see how big, how things visualize are in that regard. So let me just show you an example of that. So this is one of our favorite partners from years ago, Wilmington, North Carolina, and I hope they're tying in today because we really love them. But their event center, or their exhibit center, as you see here, is full of pipe and drape. But let's just see what it looks like empty. So if your convention center had a big open space, it could be a ballroom with chairs on it, it could be a stage. You're going to have the ability to see what that looks like full and empty, which many times is very important. So again, dotting this with more information beacons to make it immersive, to really draw people in, is very critical. And the last thing that we wanted to show you is really one of our really coolest features. Let me log in here. So let's say that you wanted to bring an event to your city. You probably heard of The Weeknd, the guy that is it Brilliant Lights or Bright Lights. He sang at the Super Bowl. But let's say you wanted to, you got an RFQ or proposal to be sent to their team, their marketing team. You're going to have a pitch deck. You're going to have all this paperwork and digital things. Every tour for your city, you can copy, and you will have the capability to actually duplicate your existing tour and create a custom tour that's not public to bring those, or to be sent to those specific events. So how it works is, for example, this is full of a lot of our demo tours, but let's say you wanted to copy your main tour, and let's just say you wanted to call this the weekend pitch. Just making that up. Yeah, save, and within seconds, basically your tour is copied, and now you have the ability to actually go in there and customize that tour that's centric to trying to win that award. when that, and let me just show you kind of what that looks like. So again, we're visualizing the weekend guy, right? That entertainer. This is a custom tour. Nice jams on a Tuesday. Oh, I love that song. Okay, so you get the idea that instead of having one that's public facing that everybody sees, all planners see, you can now customize your tour, strip out everything you don't want them to see, but show them that, you know, you're within walking distance to all these hotels, to Perry's Resort, to other annexes to these resorts, information beacons that will make and give them everything they need to make a decision to bring the weekend to your city. So again, that's all included, and that's again one of our brightest features there. So with that, let me unshare my stop share, and Nicole, we can go ahead and open it up for questions that you might have.
Sure, I don't see any right now, but this is a great opportunity for everybody to put in their Q&A, or if you'd like to raise your hand, I can unmute you and we can have a little discussion if you like.
Yeah. Many times the questions start coming in, and I can answer just some of the common ones. Is SkyNAV an app? And we can say, no, it's not. It is web-based, and it lives on all our property partners' websites, and pretty much self-contained. And we do work with Simpleview of making sure that's embedded properly. So that's another question that some people have.
Got a quiet and shy group today.
Hey, maybe I answered all the questions, you know, kudos to me, right?
Exactly. But they can always reach out to anyone on their Simpleview team, to anybody in the SkyNAV team. If they have any questions, want to know more information, anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of the features, the copy feature is one of the most pleasing features. So if anybody does have questions on any of the features of the product, please let me know. Looks like somebody did put a chat question there.
You got a question in there, if you see it.
Oh yeah, okay. I missed the beginning of the presentation, so you may have mentioned this. Can we add any 360 images we already have? Yes. So the platform, once the keys are turned over, you can actually scale the tour if you'd like. So if you already have 360 images that are licensed to be able to be used, of course, and free to use, they just have to be a certain size, and we have all that documentation, but also certain quality. You know, we want to make sure that the aerial and ground images are at a good standard. And I know you all would want the same, because we don't just have interns or college kids going by and taking pictures above their head. We want fairly good quality, but if it is pretty good quality 360 images, by all means, and that goes for even 360 video, that can be inserted there as well. Good question.
All right. Well, we'll send out a follow-up, so they'll be able to reach out again. But oh, look,
Okay.
See, now people are coming. No questions, just props to the SkyNAV team. It's from your Wilmington team there.
Gotta love Sean Braden. They were our first tour several years ago, 2-3 years ago, and we owe a lot to the Wilmington team and Sean. So we appreciate Sean hanging in there. They're going to have a pretty cool tour coming up, couple tours coming up for them too. So Okay, oh, here's another one. You're right. What's the implementation timeline? How long does it take? So to do, based on the scope of your city, if it's, you know, fairly large, it could be several days of production. And as we are in post-production with, you know, having come there for 3 or 4 days, weather depending, of course, we can work concurrently in the post-production. And if we can get the team, you know, your team to help us to get all the naming right, the descriptions right, images, all that nature, we can have the tour up and pretty much live. You know, it could be 6 weeks, but it can also be less. Since you have access to the dashboard, you guys could even help hammer out information beacons and the naming of the navigation. So all that can be sped up pretty quick. So, but it does, you know, we just want to let people know that it could be 6 to 8 weeks at the max, but it could also be less. That makes sense. And of course, implementation is instant because it's an iframe. So once it's completed, we'll work with the Simpleview team and literally laying out the web page that you want the tour to be embedded on. It takes seconds. It's really not that difficult. Good question, Kelly.
Just giving everybody a second, just in case it feels like every time I'm like, okay, and then somebody's like, oh, wait, me. So it's always a good thing. There you go. Let's see, can you share some small DMOs that have participated?
Small demos, sure can. Let's see. I can, that's Cindy Bartley. Let me make a note of that. I can send you, Cindy, I'll send you some examples of, you know, we did one in Macon, Georgia, our team did, and then Tri-Cities, Washington, and they are awesome. Very petite, but very powerful. So I will send you some, and I think I'll be getting some emails from the team to do that. So I'll make sure you get that, Cindy. And Amon Johnson says, how easy is it to do updates? It's instant. So once you log in, if you wanted to update content, you find your panorama, the scene, and let's see if I could, let me real quick. I'll just show you real quick. I mean, it's really that easy. So let's say you wanted to make some edits on one of the scenes in your tour. You wanted to rename it, you rename it there. If you wanted to add media, like little music, you wanted to add, you could upload a new info box, you hit plus, position it, save, and pretty much it's instant. It takes about probably 2 minutes to update. So it's very easy to update on the fly. No, thank you. I appreciate it. No. Now the copy tour feature, just so you know, if you wanted to you want to bring the weekend to your city, that will take a little finagling a little bit, but it's worth it to get a big contract to add maybe custom text, maybe some custom images, custom PDF downloads, things of that nature, but not too difficult.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I don't see any last minutes, but we are happy to answer questions at any time. But otherwise, expect to hear back if you had some questions and expect to get the recording. So thank you very much, Ty, for showing us everything. It was very, very cool to see, especially.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate it very much. Thanks for allowing us to sponsor this event and this webinar. And look forward to hearing from some of you DMOs out there. Look forward to working with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.